Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your girl Money. I'm back again with another video, and I guess this will be part two because I just pressed something wrong. And I did something wrong, so now this is just going to be part two because I was just going to do a long video, but apparently not. It's going to be it's divided in two separate sections. But like I was saying, she never defended Peter as much as she defends Mike. She never loved Peter as much as she loves Mike. Like, I just think it's crazy how you were with Peter for 8 years and, well, married to Peter for 8 years and together with Peter for 10 years, I guess, whatever. And you never defended him as much as you defend Mike. You never went hard for him as much as you do Mike. And I just think that's fucked up if you ask me. Yeah, Peter wasn't the perfect or the most best husband, but at the same time, he would never let anybody disrespect Cynthia. He would get somebody together quick, fast, and in a hurry. And I happen to think that's fucked up. That the fact that you sat up there and didn't even give Peter the same respect he gave you on multiple occasions. That's just my honest opinion. Like, I feel like that's messed up if you ask me, because it's like we could clearly see a big difference. I know for a fact it's a whole different scenario when it comes to Mike versus when it was with Peter. Like, I can definitely say that it's a whole different ball game when it comes to the two. But I do see that Cynthia does love him. She does love him because all she talks about is chill, and she never talked about Peter this much. Never. Every time you saw her when she did scenes with Peter and everything, she barely ever smiled. She barely ever was happy. She was not all head over heels like she is over Mike versus when she was with Peter, and that's just a fact. That's me being, I'm 100% real honest. As I said before, I am a Kenya stan, but when she has a bullshit, I'm gonna say it. And simple as that. So in the midst of them having that conversation and talking, Drew FaceTimes Cynthia and she invites her to the trip to New Orleans and once again throwing shade at Kenya. Bitch, could you stop with your obsession? Literally, every episode, every confessional, you're talking about Kenya. You're throwing shade at her about some shit. You're talking about her marriage. You're doing something that has to do with her. It is ridiculous. It's crazy. And I think you should have a chill pill. And I think you should calm the fuck down. It's not that deep. It's not that serious. You're making yourself look obsessive at this point. So when Kenya does read Rose Saute fry that ass at the reunion, don't sit here and say she was bullying you. Because when you said on the after show that she bullied you while y'all were having lunch, that was bullshit. She did not bully you, you lying fake ass bitch. So when Kenya grabs and drags your edges and snatches them hoes and glues them in her trophy case, because of all the women's edges she snatched. Don't sit here and look. Don't sit here and look surprised. Don't sit here and act as if you don't know anything or you didn't do anything wrong, because she done already exposed your ass on Candy Speak on it. I'm not trying to hear anything that you have to say as far as that, because you know exactly what you're doing, what you're saying, how it's gonna come out, all that. So I'm not trying to hear that. You're constantly talking about her, like, girl, stop. I don't want to hear it. Mm-mm. And I said, and then they were talking about how they're gonna get a private jet, and I was like, girl, bye. I said, let's be real. Ralph ain't get them no damn private jet. That was production. Let's just keep it real. Who is she trying to fool? Like, yeah, who are you trying to fool? Like, y'all are not making it like that. If y'all was about it like that, girl, you would not need to come on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's just be clear. Like, come on now. Like, come on now. And then I was like, yet again, Drew want to be shady towards Kenya. Like, sis, stop the obsession. For real though, like, stop it. You're making yourself look ridiculous. You wonder why a lot of people don't like you. This is why. Because you're sitting up here. You're always coming on camera looking a fool, looking a mess. For once, the black wig actually looked good on you. That's the best you've looked this whole season. I mean, this whole season, your wigs have been horrible so far. They have, but you look really good in that one, though. I'll give you that. I don't like you because I feel like you throw rocks and hide your hand. You constantly coming at people or whatever, and then you want to sit here and act and play victim and all that. I don't like that shit. But I can say that that wig that you finally had looks good. It looks good. all the other atrocities that you've worn in this day. Okay, so after that, Drew and Ralph, they start talking about Josiah's birth father, and then I felt bad for Drew because she wants to protect her son and be fair, but she also wants to be fair at the same time. And then she explains how her son doesn't even know his birth father because he went to jail before his son was even born. And I just think that's fucked up. I understand how. I'm not going to get to that yet. I'll get to it when I get to it. She explains how she took Josiah to see his dad while his dad was in prison when he was 2. And then in the confessional, she says they met a year ago, but that Josiah didn't understand who he was. And then after that, Ralph asks if she's afraid to have him build that relationship as his actual father. And Drew was like, yeah, I want to make sure that he's living right, that he got his shit together, basically, and that he's not going to sit here and waste my son's time, waste my baby's time, when my baby could just be spending time with you. And Drew's saying she's not sure what the outcome will be or if he'll be consistent. And I said, and that's totally understandable. And I said this, I don't like Drew, but I do understand how she feels, and I understand how Josiah feels. I had those same feelings towards my father, but we got closer as I grew up as a young woman, if we've been tired ever since, and I love my dad no matter what, but he could have stepped up more when I was younger. So I definitely resonate with Josiah. I understand where he's coming from because my dad wasn't shit for a long time, and we didn't connect until I was an adult a few years ago. And that's the truth. He was not in my life like he should have been, and that shit hurt me every single day. I had a lot of abandonment issues. I had a lot of father issues. I had a lot just plain just going on, and I definitely would not want nobody to go through all those things that I went through when it came to that because it was just a horrible experience. I wouldn't wish this on nobody. This shit hurts. It's painful. Like you don't know who the fuck your father is, and it's like you know who he is, but he still don't want to be present, still don't want to be around. That shit hurts at the end of the day. So I understand Drew's perspective and I understand Ralph's perspective. And then Drew said that just Josiah doesn't want to talk to him. Ralph was like, says he doesn't want him to ever grow up saying, "You stopped me from having a relationship with my dad." So yeah, I understand how he feels right now, but I want to make sure that we don't stand in the way of that relationship blossoming and actually truly creating that father-son bond. Drew says she gets that and doesn't want to have a misstep to where he's angry and hates her. And then Ralph was like, "Well, you have me here to be with you." During the confessional says growing up, Ralph's dad was absent until after he passed. I think he can relate to lend a lot of understanding to Josiah and let him recognize the importance of the relationship with his dad. And they start talking to. Then after that, they start talking to Josiah even when her mom was there. I didn't understand why the fuck her mom was there. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be rude to a woman in her age, but I'm just like, why the fuck are you there? Like, they're there to talk to their son. What the fuck are you in the conversation for? Like that's just how I felt. I was just really, really annoyed. I'm getting more and more annoyed. It's like, don't you have your own house to live at, to stay at? Why the fuck are you always there? Why are you always around it in their business? Like, I couldn't do. Like, I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but I just personally feel like, why the fuck are you there? Why are you always in their business? Why are you always around? And you wonder why they have all these marital issues and stuff going on when you know damn well why. You know damn well that your mom plays a huge part into why y'all have as many issues as y'all do because she don't know when to mind her fucking motherfucking business and when to sit the hell down and when to not get involved in something that doesn't concern her. Yes, that's her daughter, that's her grandson, all that. I get all that. But it's like this has nothing to do with her. I didn't understand why the fuck they were even talking with her right there. I would have told her, hey, could you step away? I want to talk to Josiah. We want to talk to him alone. And maybe he would have felt more comfortable because I know I wasn't the only one sitting up there like, why the fuck is she here? While they're having this conversation. It didn't make sense to me. I'm just like, girl, why are you here? I don't get that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Whatever. I was just like, I was over it because I'm just like, first of all, number one, that little boy looked kind of annoyed because he was just like, why the fuck I have to have a conversation about this nigga that I don't give a fuck about, especially on these cameras, all these damn cameras in my face, all these damn people filming me and shit. He was looking like I don't even want to be there. I didn't blame him. Like I understood completely where he was coming from. He was just annoyed and over it, and I was there for him. I was with him on that. Like, girl, give me some sushi. Let me have a motherfucking plate. Why am I here talking about this shit when we've talked about this so many times and I'm over it at this point? Yes, he's 9 years old, but he's not a dumb kid at all. It's not like he doesn't understand the severity of the situation. He understands. Because when I was 9, I was fully aware of everything that was going on, and I wasn't stupid by no means. And that boy is not dumb. Okay, he don't want to fuck with that motherfucking nigga because that nigga wasn't there and he was not present. Who wants to fool with somebody that wasn't present? They're gonna get used to someone not being consistent and not being present and not being there. So of course they're gonna assume, okay, he don't give a fuck about me. He don't care about me. So I don't care about him. I don't care to make a relationship with him. But anyway, let me get to it. Let me get to it. I don't understand why they even called her baby daddy old daddy. Like, that rubbed me the wrong way. I'm just like, what's wrong with y'all? No wonder that little boy is confused about who the fuck his dad is. Because why y'all giving his dad dumb names? You could have just said bio dad. That sounds better than saying old daddy. Like, it's dumb as hell. Funny, but dumb as hell. I don't understand why they call him old daddy. It should have just been bio dad. That sounds better. That's just my personal opinion. But anyway, and then Drew starts talking to her son. Her son, like I said, her son looked annoyed, like he didn't even want to be there. Like, why the fuck am I having a conversation about this bitch ass nigga? That's the type of tease I got from him, from his body language. He was just over it, and I was over it for him. Like I said. But anyway, she asked him, what would make her, what would make him want to talk to his biological dad? And that boy Stone Coldly said, I don't know. As in, I don't give a fuck about this. Why are we talking about this? And then Drew's mom chimes in when nobody asked her ass to chime in. That's why I said, I don't understand why she's even here. Why are you always in here and involved in their business? This has nothing to do with you. Oh my god, it just annoyed me so much. It's like, why are you here? The fuck? But anyway, she says, Drew's mom says everybody makes mistakes, and that no matter what, it doesn't stop him from being his old dad. It should still be his bio dad. His bio dad sounds way better than saying old dad. Like, ugh, these people are retarded. These people are stupid. I don't mean to say, and when we saying retarded, I don't want to offend anybody or nothing like that, because I'm not trying to be problematic, but that just pissed me off because I just feel like that term is so dumb. It is so dumb. Oh my god. I don't, and I said I don't like that term at all. It sounds fucking ridiculous if you ask me, but that's just me how I feel about it. Anyway, moving on. And after that, Drew asked her son again, "Do you think he should apologize to you, or would you like him to call you more?" And her son, straight up with a dead face, says, "No." Once again, he don't give a fuck about this conversation. Y'all still want to keep on forcing the conversation. Ralph says he doesn't even like the word old dad. I don't either. None of America does either. Because it's dumb as hell. It's stupid. Sounds ridiculous. Then out of nowhere, Drew starts telling the story where she and Ralph first got together, her confessional. She had the little boy calling Ralph Uncle Ralph. And I said, like, the fuck? That ain't his motherfucking uncle. If anything, he should have had Josiah. She should have had Josiah calling him Mr. Ralph. That would have made more sense. Duh. Than Uncle Ralph. That ain't your motherfucking uncle. Why you got your son calling this nigga Uncle Ralph? That ain't his fucking uncle. Like, I would have looked at her like, Mom, are you on some incest shit? Like, if that was me, that's how I would have reacted to that. Because that's some confused shit. No wonder that polar boy was confused. And then Ralph asks Josiah if he wants to get to know his dad. He says with another straight face, no. I don't want to know this nigga. This nigga ain't shit. This nigga ain't been here. I don't give a fuck about him. That's the face he was giving me. And then Drew starts going on and on about how having two dads is a blessing, and having someone that wants to communicate and build is a blessing. And then Josiah looking at her like, bitch, I'm tired. I'm over this stupid ass conversation. I'm hungry. Where the sushi at? That's the look he was giving me. That's the vibe I was getting from him, and I felt him on that because I feel like, why the fuck are y'all having this conversation when he clearly doesn't not give a fuck about fixing anything with his father. His father probably wasn't shit to him, to his recollection. Yes, I'm glad his father wants to reconnect and wants to fix their relationship, but it's like sometimes some kids are too damaged to for you to be able to try and maneuver in their life and fix anything. Some kids are too damaged for that, and some feel like as after a certain amount of time, you can't fix something like that, especially if you missed out so much time. That's how it is for some kids. It wasn't like that for me. I mean, it took me a long time to forgive my dad because I felt like he failed me as my father, and I had a lot of abandonment issues because of him. And I had a lot of issues growing up, and I would be attracted to certain people because I was so fucked up in the head because of him. And it was initially his fault, honestly, because I wasn't over the pain I felt from him abandoning me and not being there for me as a child and being there for me as my father because I needed him. I needed both of my parents, but my mom did an amazing job raising me and my sister. Rest in peace to her. Um, but yeah, that's just how I felt about that. Then Drew asks him again if he would want to talk to him again. His son says no again, looking at her like, listen, listen, nigga, I don't give a fuck about this conversation. I don't want to talk to this nigga. Why y'all gonna keep going on and on and on about this? Then Ralph tries to reason with him again and creates a comfort by opening up about his relationship with his own father who is absent, and that kinda opened Josiah's eyes a little bit. And he says maybe in the future he'd be open to have a conversation with his biological dad. And I said Josiah was happy to get off that chair and out of the camera. He was like, "I'm over this shit." Straight up, that's how he was, and I felt him on that because I would have been over it too. Like, the fuck, like, the fuck. I would have been like, "What are we here for?" Like, thank God I could get away from these dumbass cameras. They all in my face. I don't even want to talk about this shit on camera. Like, fuck. Anyway, moving on. Time for the Halloween party. Cynthia comes there dressed up as a hand sanitizer, and I hollered. And she looks a damn mess. She looks a fool. She looks ridiculous. Cynthia enters the house and she gets scared of the other shit, and I just think it's hilarious how she was the only one that was scared. Fallon is dressed as Medusa, and she's giving me everything. That's I think she looked the best, definitely out of her and Candy. Her and Candy were the best. Toya will come in secondary. I think it says Candy is dressed as a cheetah, and then Fallon says, "When I say come to my vet, I want to see shit like this." And she points at Candy's bomb ass costume, and Cynthia says, "Let's be clear, I usually bring it." They pan over to her confessional, and she says the best costume of all time was when she came dressed as 50 Cent. I said she was fine as fuck though. I ain't gonna lie. LMAO. And then Shamia gets there, and she's an astronaut. And she looks a fool. I would have thought Shamia would have brung it. Like, come on, Shamia. You always look bomb every time you come somewhere. Come on now. I know you would have killed that. And then Candy and Cynthia, they throw shade at Fallon about the food arrangements. And that would have been me if I was there. I would have been like, "Girl, you could have got us more than this now. DoorDash would have supplied us more food than this now. Come on now. That Halloween party is supposed to have been off the chain, off the heezy for sheezy, and it wasn't. The only thing that was good about it was the decorations and shit from the outside going in. Okay, that was a boring, lame ass party, and I would have been like, okay, I'm ready to go. Like, I'm sorry, y'all could have did way more than that shit. What kind of Halloween party is that? You should have had way more food, way more drinks, way more stuff going on. You should have had DJs. You should have had all of that together. Like, if I would have threw a party, it would have been live. I'm sorry. Like, I don't blame them for shading her because that was a boring, dry ass, stale ass party, and I would have been over it if it was me. I'm just saying, if it was me, I would have did that. I said, Kenya comes in Native America. I have a lot to say about that. Now, on one hand, I understand why people were upset and were dragging her on Twitter, but she also said that she has Native American in her heritage, and I do believe that. And I feel as if you have Native American in your heritage, and if you are Native American, you have a right to wear that. She was wearing it in pride. She was not wearing it to mock anybody, to make fun of anybody, none of that. But I also understand why people felt like it was cultural appropriation because of the fact that if it was a white person dressed in blackface, they would be getting dragged, and that is very true. They would be because it's like you're a white person. Why are you wearing makeup to look darker than what you are? But you got to also look at it from Kenya's point of view. Native American is in her heritage. You can tell by her hair. You can tell by how she looks. You can honestly tell, and that's not me being ignorant or nothing. You can tell. Like I have um, Cherokee Indian in me, and all and Blackfoot Indian in me, and everything. You can tell by my hair texture, by my facial complexion. You can tell. You can honestly tell like it's in me. But I probably would never dress up as a Indian or a Cherokee Indian or any of that because I don't want to ruffle anybody's feather or make anybody feel as if I'm mocking them, even though that's a part of my heritage, that's a part of my culture. I would never wear something like that because I don't want to ruffle anybody's feathers, and I wouldn't want to make anybody feel as if I'm mocking the culture, even though it is a part of me. So I understand both sides of the spectrum, but I don't feel like people had a right to really go too in on her because it's not like she was trying to mock them. Like she was saying she wore it because it's a part of her American heritage, and she wanted to basically, what I got from it, she wanted to support that. She wanted to wear that in honor of her heritage, and I understood that perspective on it. I don't feel like people should have cussed her out and did all that because yeah, I don't agree with that. I'm sorry, I don't. Kenya's my fave, and when she does some bullshit, I'm gonna be the first to call her out. But I don't feel like she deserved to get cussed out and all like that, and people trying to cancel her. I'm just like, are y'all serious? Like, she does one thing y'all don't like, and y'all trying to cancel her as if she's trying to make light of the situation or make fun of them. She was not making fun of them. She was representing for her heritage. That's how I took it. And it's like, before you speak on something, get all your facts together and get all your facts right. Because if it was me, I'd be like, I want to get all my facts together before I'm speaking on anything. So I did. That's why I was on Twitter earlier, live tweeting with everybody, saying my opinion about the episode and everything. Because I always felt like give someone a chance to explain before you jump down their throat about stuff. I understand why everybody was upset though, but at the same time, give her a chance to explain herself. And I do believe for a fact she does have a Native American heritage in her. I do believe that 100% for a fact. That's not something she would lie about. And she's never lied on the show, period. She's always told the truth. I don't believe she's lying about that. Like, you can tell that's in her. It's definitely in there. So I feel like if that is a part of your heritage, why can't you wear that in honor of people, in honor of your heritage? Why couldn't you wear that? Like, I get where people are coming from where they will feel disrespected, but she wasn't intending to disrespect anybody, and at any way. But maybe she should have had on another costume. I don't know. But anyway, that's just my opinion about that, and this is how I feel on that, in that order. Um, Drew then comes dressed as a cat, and in her confessional, she's once again talking about Kenya, and it's like, girl, it's becoming obsessive at this point. And I said that earlier, but she's really obsessed. Like, you constantly talking about Kenya. Kenya is all you talk about in your confessionals, literally all you talk about, and that's sad. That's pathetic. Like, stop the obsession, girl. And then she says that Kenya's outfit is problematic, and I understand why she feels that way. I do get that, but she claims she's not trying to ruffle any feathers. I don't believe that shit. This dude's been coming for Kenya all season long. Who is she trying to fool? Like, come on now. Let's stop the dramatics. Let's stop the foolishness. Let's stop the shenanigans. I don't want to hear it because ain't nobody done. Us as people, we are not done. And then Kenya announced to the group that Marla wasn't going to be able to make it. And then Candy, her professional, says that it's weird that Kenya's speaking for Marla, but I mean, and I'm like, but I mean, they're really slowly building a friendship. So I mean, regardless if people think it's real or not, she's not doing anything wrong. So I didn't see an issue with it. I mean, yeah, it's kind of weird, but then again, it's like they're genuinely friends now and genuinely starting over. She's just letting y'all know why Marlo isn't here. Y'all should be grateful and thankful that she took it upon herself to tell y'all why instead of being shady and trying to making it a bad thing for her speaking up for Mario. But okay, sure. And then Shamia mocks Kenya, and they all laugh. Latoya comes in and she's a dead mermaid and she looks amazing, of course. And let me put it this way. Now, before I get to dragging Latoya, because I will drag her, and I'm going to drag her in this review, but I do still love Latoya. Like, I love her vibe and everything, aside from her being shady as hell, and aside of her being fake as hell. Like, I still love her, but I have to get her together. I don't like this fake shit she's doing. And then she trying to play both sides and then turning people against each other. I don't like that shit. I'm not with that. I don't like it. But she looks amazing though. She always looks amazing. And she hugs everybody. Tori comes all crazy saying, "Are you gonna put the drinks together for me?" And Fallon's like, "What you want? You gotta pick your poison." Toya says, "It's a beautiful home, by the way." And Fallon was like, "Thank you." And then Toy out of nowhere says, "This is what dating a 65-year-old does at this point." If I was Fallon, and I said, if I was Fallon, I would have read her and told her where she could go. She would have had me fucked up. Because first of all, bitch, what you're not going to do is come in my motherfucking house and talk about my husband, talking about dating a 65-year-old. Bitch, we're married. That makes it completely different. Secondly, don't come in my house with the fucking bullshit, bitch. She would have got cussed out. Probably nicer than me because I would have cussed that bitch out. That's what she should have done. She should have cussed that bitch out and kicked her ass out and told her where the fuck she could go. If that was me, I would have went off on her and told her where she could go. She wouldn't have had me sit up here and no, no, you're not gonna try me about my motherfucking husband, my man, mm-mm, the father of my children. No, no, mm-mm, mm-mm. No, mm-mm. Hell no. And then Toya was like, "Yes, put me on, hunty. I'm trying to live like this." And then Shamia says, "You can't give a compliment and shade at the same time, Mama." Right. And I agree with Shamia. Shamia didn't annoy me at all this episode. I actually loved her this episode. We'll see how I feel next week. But I do love Shamia though, but a freak hoe is a freak hoe. Sorry. It is what it is. And then Toya was like, "There ain't no lead here to help us, sister. Ain't no chef here to cook me something." And Fallon looked at her like, "Bitch, what the fuck you think this is? Charity? Fuck?" And she said, and Fallon was like, "No, but you can help yourself. It's right there." And I'm like, "Exactly. Get your ass up. It's right there." Then Toya had the nerve and the audacity to say, "Someone needs to serve me." And I was like, "Bitch, who are you talking to like that?" She had me pissed the fuck off to the fuck. And then Toya says, "I'm not gonna be up in this house, and nobody's serving me, honey." And Candy and the others get her together and say, "Girl, you just got here, and you talking crazy." And then Toya was like, "Service, where's the maid at?" And then Fallon gets up and says, "I'll get it for you, babe. Rich people don't talk like that. Broke people do." And I hollered because she read her. I'm sorry, she read her. She got her together. But I would. But Fallon, you have me fucked up. I wouldn't have got that bitch a motherfucking drink. That bitch got two arms, two hands. She two arms, two legs. So you know what? She could have got up and got her own drink, got her own food. You should not have accommodated her. I'm sorry. That would have no. That blew me when you did that because I felt like no. Like I understand you're trying to be nice, you're trying to be respectful, but these hoes they're gonna have to be put in their place. I'm sorry. Fuck that shit. I would have told that bitch where fucking go. You would have had me fucked up. I am not fucking getting out of my seat to go get your ass a drink when you are a grown ass woman and you can drink and conceive whatever the fuck you want to do. No, hell no. You shouldn't have got her shit. I would have told her, "Bitch, go get you that drink and get the fuck out of my face." Okay? That's what I would have told her. Acting like she your motherfucking self, your motherfucking slave or some shit. Hell no. Mm-mm. talking to her crazy the whole time. Hell. And then Shamir repeats and says, "Rich people don't act like that. Broke people do." And all of them start laughing, and I was with them when they started laughing. And then Toya's expression says, "Look, she's from the hood herself. She came up. Toya, you're asking to get right. You're asking for people to drag you there." And then Toya says, "I love how Drew and I have a love and hate relationship because after we were at Shamia's house, we went to my house, and Kenya was like, so she went to your house?" And Drew was like, Drew explains how she took Toya home because she had one too many drinks and she didn't want her to either harm herself or someone else. And I said, so good on her for looking out for Toya, and I respect that a lot because a lot of bitches wouldn't do that. That's just me being honest. I doubt that if Kenya was really drunk, that Portia would take her home and give a fuck about what she's doing and if she's okay. I really doubt it. Just being honest. Um, but yeah, that's just how I feel. Um, and then Toya announces how she hasn't seen Kenya in so long. You haven't messaged me. You haven't called me. And Kenya's over there trying to act like she's been avoiding my calls, my text messages. And then Kenya was like, "Girl, what is this about, honey? Like, I'm confused why you're making this a topic of discussion, honey." Toya says, "Do you have a new boo? I just need to know because if I've been replaced, then I'll move on to the next lady." And then Kenya says, "You already did move on." Kenya's a shitty bitch, but I love her. I live for her. Okay, I live for her. And Kenya was like, "You moved on in Charleston." And then Toya was like, "Oh, but that was just a kiss." And then Jew was like, and they was all just looking at her like, "Girl, honey, we see right through this shit." And then Drew's toast to Cynthia and Mike getting married to Chill. And everybody hits their glass. And then Candy announces her new role. And they toast to that also. And then Kenya says, "Latoya, let me talk to you for a second." And one thing I respect about Kenya, when she wants to talk to somebody, she's not going to talk to somebody in front of a whole group setting because she could have did that and been shady as hell and did all that. But no, she went upstairs with her and took her to the side, and they were sitting on the couch, and she had this conversation. And then Toya tries to get all close to Kenya, and Kim was like, "No, no, sit your little butt back over there. I'm not happy with you right now." And then Toya was like, "You're always unhappy with me, and there's always an issue. I've tried to text you." And then Kenya was like, "You got to let me talk and tell you what we need to talk about then." Toy says, "I feel like you've been ignoring me and I need to know what's been going on." And then Kenya was like, "So when I told you about what was going on with me and my husband, why would you take it to girls that you know don't like me and have been very disrespectful towards me and very evil towards me and very mean towards me?" But sorry, y'all, I'm tired. But no, for real though, like that's the thing I didn't understand. Like, why would you do that? And we saw the footage from last week. They didn't mention Kenya. You mentioned Kenya. You threw Kenya under the bus. You accused her of leaking the page six. You threw her under the bus. Then you proceeded to bring up her business. They weren't bashing her. You were bashing her. You bashed your own friend to bitches that you know she doesn't like, or bitches that you know don't like her. I don't like that fake ass shit. Yo. I don't like that shit. And then Toya says, "I understand that, but I felt like in that moment I had to defend you and protect you because they really tried to make you look like a terrible person." And I said in all caps, "What the fuck are you lying? Why the fuck? What the fuck? Why are you lying? You were the one that brought her up and told hella lies. You accused her of leaking the story to Page Six. You claimed that she said you and Portia and Tanya did the nasty when she clearly told you what was told to her. Her meaning Kenya. Kenya told her what was told to her and asked Toya about that and asked her if it was true or not. She didn't deliberately come up with that and assume and say, "Oh, you did this, this, and this." She asked her a question. You're the one who told your own friend's business and tried to make it seem as if they're taking all talking all this shit about her when you were the one that was being shady and fake as hell. You know these girls don't like her or fuck with her like that. Why would you go and do some snake shit? Fuck the kiss at this point. That is irrelevant. We need to discuss how you're being fake as hell, claiming you're loyal to Kenya, but yet bashing her to people you know that doesn't like her like that. And this is some bullshit. Straight up lie. And you're trying to sit here and insult our intelligence as if we aren't watching the same show. Fuck out of here. And then Kenya was like, Kenya says, terrible person for what? Like she knows Latoya isn't making sense. She's not making no sense. And low key, I agree with Color Me Pink. I feel like the bitch came in here on coke or some shit because she was acting crazy, like real crazy, and she's not acting like her normal self. I'm sorry, like no, she was on some shit like this night. She was high as fuck off something, and it wasn't weed. It was coke. I agree with Color Me Pink. I think it was coke because she was acting like she was on some shit for real. She was not making sense. So he says, I don't know what you did to Portia. I don't understand the dynamic, but it puts me in a weird position because she is a cool person, but at the same time, my loyalty is with you. Kenya says, it's not with me. Toya gets loud and says, it is with you, Kenya. Just like, I know you're not going to be talking to Miss Twirl like that. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And Kenya says, why are you raising? I'm not going to raise my voice with you. I hate that shit. Don't raise your voice at me, okay? I mean, she did sound like somebody's mama, even though she is Brooklyn's mama, technically. But she did sound like a mother in that moment. But then again, it's like, Toya, you started it because you did yell at her and she was talking to you calmly. This could have went a whole different direction had you not did that. But you're asking for her to drag you. That's on you. And Toya says, it is with you, Kenya. And Kenya was like, no, it's not. And Toya says, that's how I speak. I'm Trinidadian, okay? So if you can't deal with it, then you can't deal with me, and you don't want a relationship with me. Toya, and then she was like, so what? Bitch, no, you didn't. You being a Trinidadian has nothing to do with the fact that you're being rude as fuck. You're being disrespectful. You're talking to her crazy. You're raising your voice at her when she's being calm, and she's tried to be calm this entire time with you, having an adult conversation with you, and you're getting pressed because she's calling you out and seeing through your bullshit. Because we clearly, us as a viewer, see you're playing both sides. You're going to them lying on Kenya about shit she never said. Then you're going to Kenya lying to her about shit they never said. You're the motherfucker that brought her business up there. You're the one that brought her up. You're the one that threw her under the bus. You're the one that started being shady as fuck. And no wonder she don't fuck with you like that. I don't blame her at this point. Because if it was me, I wouldn't want to deal with your ass any either. And I love you, Latoya, but I gotta call a thing a thing. You on some bullshit in these two episodes. And I hope next week I ain't gotta drag your ass again. But you're asking for it because it's like everybody down my timeline was reading your ass and dragging you all on Twitter and Instagram because you're on some bullshit, bitch. Now I understand you're doing what you gotta do to secure that spot for next season, but this fake ass shit, I ain't got time for it. And then Kenya starts to say, Latoya, this is just. Latoya cuts her off and says, I'm going back to the sea because I can't stand you. Now, see, at that point, you talk to me like that, bitch, I would slap the fuck out of your ass. Bitch, who are you talking to? That's all I want to know. Who are you talking to like that? That's all I want to know. You would not have been able to say that to me. What you're not going to do is sit here and talk to me like that and expect me to even carry on a conversation with you and expect me to even sit up here because you're not going to tell me that. And I am so glad at this point Kenya was just like, okay, you know what? I'm done with this fucking conversation. Fuck you. Fuck this conversation. It's It's a waste of time, waste of space, waste of energy. I'm over it. I'm over you, over your bullshit. And I'm so glad she told her off. I'm so glad. And then Kenya was like, okay, go back to the sea. Toya says, but for real though, I need love and affection. You gonna give it to me? And she's singing and shit. I'm just like, bitch, why are you singing? This is a serious conversation. You're turning this into a joke when it's not a joke. Like, you've been really shady, you've been really suspect, and really sinister. And you've been being real, like, fake as hell. This is your chance to plead your case, not make jokes of this like this is funny. This is not funny. There's nothing funny about you shading your own friend that you got really close to and you claim you have loyalty for, but going to other people talking shit about her and dragging her name through the mud, but then going to her, reporting and being fake as fuck. Kenya doesn't want a million. Let me make this very clear. Kenya does not want a million. Kenya does not want somebody that's going to follow her every little direction. She wants somebody that's going to be ride or die for her as she is for them. She's never went around no girls talking bad about Latoya in any way, form, or fashion. Okay, she's never done none of that. She's never put Latoya's business out there for nobody that may have not liked her to see that. She's never done Latoya the way Latoya has done her. And let's just be clear and let's just be honest. Kenya and Latoya were really close in the beginning, but Latoya fucked that up because she got turned out, like she said on Candy Speak on it. She got turned out and she started to act crazy, like she couldn't get herself together and like she couldn't think for herself. And then she started to act real funny. And even they called it out. They seeing this whole thing play out. And it's crazy to me because I never thought Latoya would be like this. And I'm disappointed because I still love her. But I'm like, bitch, you are out of order and you are wrong. Simple as that. Okay. So, and then she was like, you gonna give it to me, Kenya? And then Kenya was like, no, you got it from Portia. She was just like, bitch, please, bitch, bye. Good day. Then that's so funny. As soon as she misses Portia, Portia pulls up looking like a bootleg cat. And I was just disappointed because I was just like, bitch, I thought she was going to go more with it. I really thought that. And I'm just like, bitch, you went to Party City, getting a whole outfit and shit, girl. And then after that, the party just started to look all dead as fuck. It was that. I'm sorry. Found a girl. I love you, but you should have did more with that fucking party. I'm sorry. Hell no. I wouldn't have been waiting there for no fucking hour, wasting my time and shit. This shit dry as fuck. Hell no. Mm-mm. And then Toya was like, I was tipsy, baby. First of all, why are you calling her baby? Why are you playing with her? Like, I want to know that. Why are you playing with her? When she told you that she had a crush on you, and she told you that she was upset about you kissing Portia, why would you even make a joke about that? Because that's honestly not funny, if you ask me. That's not funny at all. It's not funny at all. At this point, Kenya don't give a fuck about the kids. It's the whole principle that you're out here telling my business to people, being fake as hell, being shady as hell. And she didn't even see everything at this point. So I know Kenya watched this episode tonight and got pissed off because Toya is being shady as fuck. And she being shisty. And if it was me, I'd be like, hell no, I'm not fucking with you no more. And I love Latoya, but she on some bullshit when it comes to that. And then Kenya was like, it doesn't matter if you were tipsy. I'm not even focusing on that. What I'm focusing on is right now is the fact that I cannot trust you. Toya says, I brought up something that Candy mentioned and she brought up. And right then and there, I was just like, I know you're not going to throw Candy under the bus and try and make it seem like the reason why you went to Portia in them and you mentioned Kenya's business was to defend her and put it out there because they were coming for her. Like, no, you brought up Kenya, you threw Kenya under the bus, you talked bad about Kenya, and that was supposed to be your girl. You talked bad about her on camera. And you really think then that you're not going to be exposed for what you said? Are you kidding me? Ugh. And then production flashes back to when Candy and Toy and Don Valentine were out eating lunch together, and they were talking about Kenya's whole situation with Mark. Toya says, I wasn't gonna bring it up till Candy said something, And I was like, I love how she's throwing Candy under the bus and being shady as fuck. And Candy wasn't even being messy when she mentioned it. Although, if I was her, I would have talked about it off camera, in my opinion. For real. I would have talked about that on camera. If that was me, I'd be like, I'll act like I don't know nothing. Because you already know how the show works. You shady. If you talk about somebody's business on camera, you know they don't want certain information on camera. But I digress. And Toya says, I felt like it was already out there in the open anyways, and I brought it up. You're going through tough times right now. And Kenya says, that is making it seem like there's an excuse for Kenya's behavior. There is no excuse for my motherfucking behavior. I have done nothing to those bitches. Nothing. They fucked the stripper. I didn't, Toya. I didn't. And then Toya starts laughing. See, at this point, that bitch should start laughing. I would have slapped her in the fucking mouth. I would slap her so fucking hard. Bitch, what the fuck are you laughing at? This is not funny. I'm sitting here, opening up to you, venting to you about how I feel about this bullshit because you just told me some bullshit. You just told me some lies, trying to make it seem like these girls are talking about me and all this other bullshit, and you trying to keep up mess, and I'm not with that shit. I would have. Oh my god. She made me mad. She made me mad. She made me so mad. And Kenya says, this is ridiculous that I'm even sitting here listening to you tell me you had to defend me over some fucking tramps. Toya says, and then Toya says, wow. And Kenya was like, yes, wow. You see how stupid that sounds? And then Toya starts laughing again and saying she can't take her seriously with that headdress on. And I was like, if I was Kenya, I would have cussed her clean out had she did that in my face. Kenya's better than me, bitch. You need to beat her ass. What the fuck? Ugh. And Kenya says, okay, I'm done talking to you. And then Toya's pulling on her and says, Kenya, come here. I'm sorry. Come back. And she's up there laughing and shit like it's funny. No, you don't do that to your friend. You don't do that to your friend. She don't give a fuck about the friendship. Clearly. Kenya walks up the stairs, pissed off, ignoring her. They switch back to Fallon and the girls. Portia asks what costumes, Toya's costume, and Fallon was like, Fallon drunk as hell at this point. And Fallon was like, a broke ass mermaid. And Portia says, not a broke ass mermaid. So that cracked me up. And then Toya and Kenya go back up the stairs and greet everybody. And Kenya's who is fine inside. She's like, girl, I'm ready to go home and get the fuck home because she's just over it at this point. And then Toya goes up to Portia trying to piss off Kenya by hugging her all tight. And I'm just looking at Toya like, bitch, you are messy as fuck and you're doing too much. That would have pissed me off just because of the fact that you know that I feel some type of way about you going around telling my fucking business to bitches. And those same bitches could throw that shit in my face. And you're sitting around there being fake as hell and you're doing shit to aggravate me. Oh my god. She was doing too much. Mm. And then Portia says her hair is dry, so what got wet? And they all laugh and side eye Kenya and it's Kenya and Toya. And Portia talks about Kenya, her professional again, but about her costume. Toya says, okay, I'm gonna leave now. And then they all ask her why, and then she's like, it's boring, I'm out. And she says, Kenya, walk me out, baby. After that conversation, you really expected Kenya to walk you out? Bitch, please. I'm glad Kenya didn't walk her ass out. I wouldn't have. I would have cussed her the fuck out and told her, bitch, get the fuck out of my face with that bullshit. Yeah, we ain't talking about nothing at this point. And Kenya was like, Portia just asked you to walk, just asked you to walk you out. Toya says, can you walk me out? And then Kenya says again, Portia just asked you. Toya says, you can't walk me out? And Kenya says no. And then Toya gets pressed and goes outside with Portia. They start talking about Kenya. Toya says, Kenya and I just had a conversation, and she's upset with me for bringing up her situation with Mark. And Portia said, "We knew she would be. That's not a surprise, Toya." And then she says, "I just feel like I have to choose sides because you and Kenya have an issue." No, it's not even that. You're being messy by even saying that because that's not even the point of the matter. Don't sit here and say your loyalty is with Kenya, but you're being shady as fuck. And Kenya is feeling that vibe that you're being shady. Yet you're trying to sit here and try to make it seem like she's stupid, like she don't know what she's talking about. Ugh. And Push was just like, how did I get into this? And I would have been like, yeah, right. Like, I have nothing to do with this. Ugh. And Toya says, I need to know what is the root of it. I need to sit. I need to sit. Portia says, okay. First things first, the moment where you started telling us her business, it had nothing to do with me. You just like came out of nowhere and was like, she's going through a divorce and all that. And Toya says, right. But I felt like I was defending my friend and but Portia was like, but nobody was attacking your friend. Toya says, she's got one issue, and it's that we kissed. No, that's not the issue at this point. The issue at this point is the fact that you went around telling her business to people that you know don't like her. That was her issue. And the fact that you're being so condescending about it, and that you're being so shady, and you're moving funny, that's her issue. At this point, the kiss doesn't even matter. Because at that point, yes, she was in her feelings around that time. But now at this point, she's seeing you for who you are. She could care less. Like at this point, Kenya could really care less at this point about the kids because she's seeing you for who you are, your true colors, because they're coming out, bitch. And she's saying Kenya took it to heart. Portia says, "Okay, what does that have to do with me?" And I'm just like, right. She's like, she's like nothing. Like Kenya, Toya says it was nothing. Portia says, "A confession, girl, what is you saying? Like I don't know what she's talking about." And Portia then says to Toya, I think you're making it be something that it wasn't. And Toya says she's making it be something that it wasn't. Portia says she's speaking perfectly good English, but she's speaking it backwards or something. I am confused, and I hollered when she said that. Toya says, I just feel like the energy's off, babe. As everybody comes outside and Toya's about to leave, and she says that to her. And Fallon starts going in, and Fallon's like, the energy may be off because you came in my house and disrespected my husband. So maybe that has something to do with it. Toya rudely dismisses her and just like, okay, goodbye. Bitch, if that was me, I would have snatched her up right there. Like, what are you talking about? I would have been snapped on her. Cause, ugh, you don't come to somebody's house acting like that. Oh my God, I can't. Mm-mm. And Fallon says, you're the one that came in and disrespected my husband. Toya says, see ya. Fallon says, walk away. That's what broke people do. Toya screams, this ain't your property, hoe. No, you didn't. And I'm just waiting for Fallon to snap. And Fallon says, I'm 31 years of age. And before I became 31, I gave birth excuse me, y'all, I'm tired. To three boys. Toy says by three baby daddies. Okay, first of all, even if that's the case, what is it to you? Why does it matter? People have mixed children all the time with mixed fathers. What's your point? Like, you want to win a medal because you pointed out that she has three different baby daddies? Even if that is the case, that's her business. Anyway, and they all looked at Toya. King says in her confession, Latoya really is just showing her ass right now, and I feel embarrassed to say I didn't get Latoya more in check. Yeah, girl, you should have, Kenya. I would expect you to, but you're being way too easy on her. Fuck that shit. You being way too easy on her, girl. And then Fowler says, what someone is not going to do is come into our empire that we built and be disrespectful to my husband. And she getting hood at this point. And I'm just like, girl, because when Fallon is normal, she's all nice, sweet, proper. But bitch, you brought the hood out of her ass. She was ready for that ass tonight, honey. And Toya screams, "Keep it in your mouth, bitch." And then Portia is talking to Shamia and Drew on the inside and about like what her and Toya talked about. And then also Toya says trying to keep trying to get it up all night with them bags under your eyes, ho. And I'm looking at the like, Fallon, get this bitch. Like, why is she fucking talking to you like this, bro? Oh my god. Get this bitch. She talking to you crazy, bro. And then Fallon says, "Who the fuck you talking to, Trini?" And I was like, "Oh, go off on her, bitch. Yes, drag her. Drag her ass, bitch." I'm gonna say that again. She says, "Who the fuck you talking to, Trini?" Yes. I was like, "You better get her." And that made me so angry the way Toya was acting. And Cynthia says in her confession, you can't come to someone's house and disrespect their home and their husband. Exactly. I agree. Because she basically said, long story short, if somebody came over her house disrespecting her home and her husband, they would end up in the sea. And I said, I know that's right. I know that's right, Cynthia, girl. And then Kenya tries to calm Fallon down by taking her back inside. And Fallon goes off, and Toya says, "Where's that bitch?" And Fallon runs like something is stuck up her ass. I screamed and hollered watching the replay of her running. Like, I'm sorry. She was ready to go upside that. She was ready to go upside that bitch's head, bitch. She gave me flash teeth, sis. She was gone. She was ready to go back in time to get that ass. Like she was over Toya her bullshit, and I was here for it because I would have fucked Toya up. I'm sorry. I would have took the deduction out of my check. Okay, she would have had me fucked up because you won't come on here disrespecting my husband, doing this other bullshit, making racist remarks. I'm not with the bullshit. You got me fucked up, bitch. You don't know me, but you gonna find out who I am today. That would have been me. I would have took that golf club and clunked her in the head with it, beat that bitch up with that golf club. I would have gave a fuck. Fuck it. At the end of the day, because bitch, you gonna know not to try me again. That would have been me. And so I said, Fallon runs like something that stuck up her ass. She was gone like flash, bitch. Do you hear me? She went straight into her garage, grabbed a golf club, and was ready to go upside Toya's head. And everybody comes around the corner saying the party's over. And I said, Fallon was ready, baby, because she was. She was ready for that ass. And I wasn't mad at her. And then, you know, Kenya comes back on, comes back downstairs. Kia comes back downstairs and says that Fallon is going crazy and that she's ready for that shit. She's ready to fuck her ass up. And they're trying to get Toya the fuck out of there so she can go, so she, because Fallon was ready. And I don't blame her. They got me fucked up. Like, you trying me, we're trying to do a show, and you on some bullshit, and you think I'm not going to pop off on your ass? That definitely would have been me. But I understood where Candy was coming from. She was like, when she said, I need to get the hell on. I love this episode so much, but I do feel like it was kind of slow. But it's definitely through each and every episode is getting more and more better, more and more interesting. I'm so looking forward to the next week's episode. Once again, looks like I'm gonna have to drag Portia because she's gonna be the initial reason for her and Marlo's relationship going so bad. I already see the cracks in it because of what she's doing and how jealous she's being. And it's like, girl, like, don't nobody have time for this. That's how I feel. Like, you spend all this time thinking Kenya plotting when in reality she ain't plotting. So, it's like, how you gonna tell that girl that she plotting and she ain't even plotting, but you're so pressed and bothered and feel some type of way. But I think the episode next week gonna be really good. I'm excited. I'm really, really excited. But hopefully we get more Fallon next episode. Hopefully we get the aftermath of everything that happened, so it'll make sense strategically. 'Cause, I mean, it'll be dumb if they start an episode off and they don't even talk about the fight from last episode. I mean, in my opinion, that would be dumb, honestly. But anyways, I love y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for your love, your support, and everything. I'm going to bed. I'm tired. I'll see you guys next week again for another Real Housewives of Atlanta review. Of course, because I've been putting them out. I've been putting in work, you know, and from now on I'll do consistent reviews. Um, but later on, watch out for 3 reviews because I'm doing 3 more reviews later. So there we go. But anyways, guys, I love y'all so much. Thank y'all for watching my review, and I will see y'all later. I might wake up late though, so yeah. But anyways, I love you.